Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to use the first reading instead of the gospel. So I'll read from the Acts of the Apostles. After staying in Antioch some time, Paul left and traveled in an orderly sequence through the Galatian country and through Perga, bringing strength to all the disciples. A Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria, an eloquent speaker, arrived in Ephesus. He was an authority on scriptures. He had been instructed in the way of the Lord, and with ardent spirit spoke and taught accurately about Jesus, although he knew only of the baptism of John. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue, but when Prisca and Aquila heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the way of God more accurately. And when he wanted to cross to Achaia, the brothers encouraged him and wrote to the disciples there to welcome him. After his arrival, he gave great assistance to those who had come to believe through grace. He vigorously refuted the Jews in public, establishing from the scriptures that the Christ is Jesus. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I chose this reading, tomorrow's first reading, because it gives us a little bit of a flavor, not much, but a little bit of a flavor of that early community of Christians. So Paul went around and he knew Aquila and Prisca very well. He worked with them. And we know that he spent maybe even a year with them. And so they would have worked together, Paul was a tent maker. And he must have spent hours and hours talking to them about what he knew about Jesus. And so when this other person comes who's also a friend of Jesus, starts preaching, Prisca and Aquila see that it's not exactly right. So they pull him aside and talk to him. I love that scene because I think we learn here how the gospel was spread. Sometimes we think that when we say go to the world and spread the gospel, many of us say, well, I can't do that. I'm not going to go preach somewhere. Who's going to listen to me? That's for the priest to do or the nun to do. So much of the faith was passed on through working alongside of people, through having meals together, and sharing stories. When Jesus says, go therefore and baptize all nations, when he says to the apostles, I send you out, and when we feel that call to be sent, a lot of times that sending means having conversations with people around us on how God has been good to us and who Jesus is for us. It's not something so complicated that we can't do. We can do it around the dinner table. Let's ask God for the grace that we can be good apostles like Prisca and Aquila and share the faith that's been passed on to us to others, but in a comfortable way around our table, at our places of work, with our friends. Let's ask God for the grace that we can spread the gospel that way. We can all do that. Have a great day.